Okay, this tutorial covers simple condition, sometimes called as selections. Let me start with the one-way if statements. I will draw a flowchart to explain what it is. We start with the terminal as a start or beginning, and then we have input. Then before we process our input, there might be one conditions to evaluate. Okay, then we will print it out our input so that there will be our output. Then we end our program. That's pretty much all one-way if statement. Let me put some comments. Start, the terminal end, that's the process, that's the input. We say int I equal to 0 as an input. The condition is if I greater than 0. This is not full syntax, but to simplify here, say if I greater than 0, then there will be a statement to process it. Then I will say I plus equal to 10. I will add 10 to variable I. Then print I here. So if the condition is true, and then you will go down to process. If it's not, it will skip next process, which is belongs to if statement. So if statement may be open with the curly brackets, we end with another curly brackets. So we can see that process belongs to that if statement. So what are we going to print? Obviously, we're going to print I. The values depends on conditions. If it's true, it will be 11. If it's not true or false, it will skip process, so it will print as it is, 0. It's not going to add number 10. Okay, let me quickly evaluate it with condition is not true. So let's say int I equal to -2. If I is -2, then I is greater than 0. That's not true. So it's not going to go through process. That's the false. So it will go down to outside the if statement, basically saying outside the process. So there will be no process called adding number 10 to I variable. So it will not add 10 to I because it's not true or false. So it's going to print I minus 2. So let me just use the block diagram. I equal to 0 here. Obviously, the condition is true, then it's going to add 10. So it's the same as I equal to I plus 10. So I think it will be 10. Sorry, that's the mistake. There's a 0 plus 10. So answer should be 10, not 11. Let me fix it. Again, there should be 0 plus 10, so it will become 10. And that is not correct. 10. By here, if we have int I equal to minus 2, that is not true, so it goes to false outside the process. Means it's not going to add number 10, so we are going to end up with the exactly same number, I equal to minus 2. So it's going to skip adding number 10 to variable I. So we are going to end up with minus 2. Okay, next one we are going to look at two-way if statement or if-else statements. So this time we are going to take action if even the condition is not true. One-way if statement, we skip through the actions. In other words, we will take action when it's true. If it's not, we will skip. This time we will take action. So you may say if it's true, we add number 10. If it's not true, we may put number 2, for example. So no matter what, we are going to take action, whether the condition is true or not. So if it's true, we will have one process here. If it's not true, we will have another process. Then we will print it out, output. Then we terminate our program. Let me add some labels. This start, input. Let's say int I equal to 0, initial value. If conditions I greater than 0, I prefer to use a parenthesis. If it's true, I will add number 10 to variable I. Again, this time we are taking actions. If it's false, we are going to add I plus equal to, let's say, 0. So we print it as it is. So here we print I. So what happens is here, if the condition is true, then I is going to add number 10 to variable I or itself. If it's not, or if it's not true, it's going to add 0 to itself. So it will be 0. So here print I, and that's the end of a program. So let's say if int I equal to -10, what will happen is false. So we are going to add 0. That is not true. -10 is not greater than 0. So it's going to add 0. So the print I, it will print, sorry, it's not going to print 0. It's going to print -10. We create a new project. I will begin with a simple one-way if statement. So selections or sometimes conditions. We start with the if statement. So if you want to evaluate condition whether it's true, or if and only if the condition is true, then you want to take certain action. Disregarding false statement or false conditions, then you can use one-way statement. So let me give you one-way if statements. It consists with multiple statements, usually about 3 lines. So start with the if, then you may have a Boolean expressions. I prefer to use curly brackets. Even the next statement is a single statement. Here we call it as a truth statement or certain actions you want to take. We start as a opening curly brackets and close curly brackets. So let me declare I equal to 10. Let's evaluate whether given I is greater than 0. If that is true, we want to run following statement. I is positive. Okay, it says, sorry, there's typo. I is positive. So we know that the Boolean expression I, which is 10, greater than 0, that is correct. We use curly brackets. Then we want to run line number 27. Sometimes it's possible not to include curly brackets. If the statement you have is a single statement, or the action you want to take, if the condition is true, happen to be single statement, then you can omit curly brackets, which I don't really recommend it. Even though it's a single statement, you should consider include curly brackets so that you unlikely make a mistake. So here, again, I is positive, that is correct. So what's going on here is that line number 31, 32, that is not true. That's why it doesn't show up. So basically saying the statement went to line number 32 and outside the 32. So if you put I equal to 10, I is equal to 10, this time it will evaluate the condition and that is true. So we print I is equal to 10 as well. Two statements will appear on your console. Again. So it's always have curly brackets opening and closing. For the second example, that's the one of the reason we may like to use two-way if statement, or so we say two-way statement or two-way if-else statements. Most of textbooks just say if-else statement. So basic idea is we execute action based on whether the condition is true or false. So basically saying if the condition is true, you take action A. If the condition is not true, which is false, you may take action B. So syntax here we use if-else statement, maybe another statement. Again, it can be more than one statement. Let me use the same example, then extend it as a two-way if-else statement. So let me change the J. So J is greater than 0, then say J is positive. Otherwise, we assume that J is equal to 0 or J is a negative number here. So we are not evaluating whether it's equal to 0 or not. We just look at whether it's greater than 10. So greater than 0, then positive, otherwise it's negative. So that is positive. If I change to 10, minus 10, it will say J is negative. Okay, let me add some comments here and there. Okay, that's all. Thank you.